Welcome. In this video, you will learn about the categorical imperative. It's the deontological approach to ethics and was developed by famous German philosopher Kant at the end of 18th century. Why it is so important and why then? Because at this time the era of enlightenment began, affecting philosophy as they believed very strongly in the power of human beings and especially of the human mind. Kant based his ethical system not on some external norm or laws of nature, not even on God, but on humanity and especially on the human mind. Help us using 3 criteria to decide if a norm is good and if the norm is able to fulfill the 3 criteria. Such a norm is categorical, what means that it has to be accepted without ifs and buts, ohne wenn und aber. And it builds an imperative for you. You are morally obliged to follow it in your action. For example, you may ask if you should tell the truth or only in a certain situation. According to Kant, you have to ask if the norm telling truth is your moral obligation and fulfills the 3 criteria of the categorical imperative. According to the first criterion, universality, the norm has to be consistent with universalization. The norm, speaking truth, can be universalized, but lying cannot. Why? Because the lie is only effective when the person to whom I tell the lie believes that I speak truth. Lying can't be a universal norm because it requires the existence of a contradictory norm telling the truth. Telling the truth can exist without telling lies and can be universalized. The second understanding of a categorical imperative is respect for rational beings, a humanity formula. The norm fulfills this criterion if when you follow it, you respect another person. And the person is always an end and not a means to end. If you are lying, you treat another person as a means to achieve your goal, and you don't respect his or her dignity. Be asked by your supervisor if you have done a task which you haven't done yet. Sometimes you may be tempted to say, yes, of course. In this case, you treat your supervisor as means to your goal, which may be not having problems with my boss. The supervisor is treated here as a means to end, an instrument to satisfy your need and comfort. Third understanding of the categorical imperative is autonomy. Using autonomy as a criterion, you have to prove the norm by asking yourself whether you want this norm to become a universal law. When you decide that you can't wish people to cheat you, lying as a norm doesn't meet this criterion. On the contrary, you probably want people tell you the truth. So, summarizing, we have these 3 formulations of the categorical imperative, which provide criteria to evaluate whether a norm is good and obligatory or not. These criteria are universality, respect for rational beings or humanity formula, and the autonomy.